AdsPower is one of the most recommended anti-tech browsers on the internet, and a lot of that recommendation is affiliate-driven, so it is worth cutting through it. The honest question is not whether AdsPower is good in the abstract, it is what the free plan actually gets you, who it fits, and where you will hit a wall. Today I want to give you a grounded review of AdsPower from the free tier up, based on how it really behaves, rather than how a payout structure wants it described. Anurada Convenkalani. I run real proxy and cloud phone farms, and I test these browsers on live setups, the way multi-account operators use them. I am going to keep this honest and concrete, and any verdict I give is tied to what the tool actually does, not the promise that it makes you undetectable, because nothing does that. What AdsPower actually is. Start with the plain description. Apramdesh is a local-first anti-tech browser, meaning you install a desktop client and your profiles run on your own machine, with Cloud Sync layered on top. Each profile is a separate browser environment with its own fingerprint, its own cookies, and its own proxy. It is built for people running many accounts, e-commerce sellers, affiliate media buyers, and agencies. And the whole interface is organized around managing a lot of profiles at once rather than browsing casually. The two browser kernels. One real feature worth knowing is that AdsPower ships two browser engines, a Chromium-based one they call Sun Browser and a Firefox-based one. Most of the time you will use the Chromium kernel because most sites are tuned for Chrome. The Firefox option matters on the occasional site that behaves differently across engines, or when you specifically want a Firefox fingerprint. Having both under one roof is a genuine convenience that not every competitor offers, and it is available to you without changing tools. What the free plan includes. Now the part everyone actually wants. The free plan gives you a small number of profiles, single digits, and it does not cripple the core browser to get there. You get real fingerprint management, per profile proxy assignment, and access to the automation tooling, which is unusually generous for a free tier. The free plan is clearly meant to let you run a couple of real accounts and get a true feel for the product, not just click around a demo. That makes it one of the more useful free tiers to actually learn on. The automation tooling, this is where AdsPower stands out even at the free level. It exposes a local automation interface, so you can connect Selenium, Puppeteer, or Playwright to a running profile and drive it with code. It also ships a visual automation builder, a robot-style tool, for people who would rather assemble steps than write scripts. If repetitive, scripted actions across profiles are your reason for using an anti-tech browser at all, AdsPower lets you prototype that workflow on the free plan, which is a real advantage over tools that gate automation behind payment. Fingerprint handling in practice. On the fingerprint side, AdsPower generates a coherent profile out of the box, a canvas value, a WebGlow renderer, a time zones, a font list, navigator properties, and it lets you adjust many of them. In testing, the important thing is not that it can change values. Every tool can. It is whether the values it generates agree with each other and stay stable across reloads. AdsPower generally produces internally consistent profiles, but as with any tool, you still have to verify each one against a public checker, rather than trusting the defaults blindly. The proxy story. AdsPower does not sell you proxies, and that is normal. You bring your own. Every profile takes its own proxy, host, port, credentials, or a rotation link, and this is the half of the setup that actually decides whether an account survives. The browser can generate a flawless fingerprint and still get an account flagged if the proxy underneath it tells a different story about geography or reputation. So the honest review point is that AdsPower gives you good tools to attach and manage proxies, but the quality and matching of those proxies is on you, and it matters more than any browser setting. Where the free plan holds up, the free plan genuinely holds up for evaluation and for a small number of real accounts. You can run a couple of separated profiles, attach proxies, test automation, and get an accurate sense of whether the tool fits your workflow. For a solo operator just starting out with a handful of accounts, the free tier can carry you further than most competitors' free plans before you feel the squeeze. That is a real strength and worth saying plainly. Where the free plan runs out, the wall comes fast once you scale. The profile cap means any serious operation outgrows the free plan quickly, and the useful team features, shared access, roles, permissions, all sit behind payment. The paid tiers are priced per profile bracket, so your cost scales with how many accounts you run. None of that is unfair, it is just the shape of the product, and you should expect to pay once you are past the evaluation stage, rather than assume the free plan is a permanent home. Who AdsPower actually fits? Being honest about fit matters more than a score. AdsPower fits people running many accounts who want local control of their data, who value the two-kernel option, and especially who want automation baked in. It fits e-commerce and affiliate operators well, which is why that crowd recommends it. It fits less well if you specifically want a pure cloud tool where every profile follows you across machines with nothing installed locally, because that is a different design philosophy that other tools lean into harder. The support and stability angle. One thing a free plan cannot fully show you is what you are really paying for later, which is support and stability at volume. When a proxy pool goes bad across dozens of profiles, or an update shifts fingerprint values, the value of responsive support becomes obvious. Web browser large user base and active development, which generally means issues get attention, but you only feel the true support experience once you are a paying customer with real stakes. So weigh that as an unknown during the free evaluation. The affiliate hype problem. Here is the honest warning. Because AdsPower pays affiliates, a lot of the glowing coverage you will find is financially motivated, and it tends to skip the limits and oversell the outcomes. That does not make the tool bad, it makes the reviews unreliable. Treat any review that promises accounts will never get banned, including reviews of AdsPower, as marketing, because no browser can promise that. Judge the tool on what it does, the kernels, the automation, the proxy management, and verify the rest yourself. Allow to evaluate it yourself. The useful test is concrete. Install the free plan, create two profiles, attach a real proxy to each, and open the same site in both. Run each profile through a public fingerprint checker and each proxy through a separate reputation and geolocation lookup, and confirm the device story and the network story agree. Then try one small automation task if that is your use case. An afternoon of that tells you whether AdsPower fits you far more reliably than any written verdict, mine included. Organizing profiles at volume. One thing worth judging even from the free plan is how a tool organizes profiles, because that is what you live in once you scale. And AdsPower leans into this with groups, tags, and bulk actions, so 100 profiles are not just a flat list you scroll forever. On the free plan, you only have a few profiles, so you cannot feel the full weight of this, but you can see the structure and decide whether the way it organizes things matches how your brain works. The management layer is easy to overlook when you are evaluating a browser, and it is often what you actually spend your day inside once the operation grows. Cookies, import, and warm up. A fresh profile with a perfect fingerprint and zero history is its own kind of unusual, and AdsPower lets you import cookies into a profile to give it a past. This matters because believability comes from history, as much as from the fingerprint. An account that behaves like it has been around, with cookies and a browsing record that makes sense, reads more naturally than a spotless brand new environment, performing established activity on day one. The tool gives you the mechanism, but the judgment about how to build a plausible history sits with you, and it is worth as much attention as the fingerprint settings. Local versus cloud. A quick contrast. It helps to place AdsPower against the other camp. AdsPower is local first. Your profiles live on your machine with sync on top, which means fast starts, and your data under your own roof. The cloud-first tools, the multilogins and multilogins of the world, keep profiles on their servers so they follow you to any machine. Neither is objectively better. AdsPower suits people who want local control and do not mind being tied a bit more to one computer. The cloud tools suit people who bounce between machines and want everything waiting for them everywhere. Knowing which of those you are tells you a lot about whether AdsPower fits before you even install it. A realistic first week. Here is what a sensible first week on the free plan looks like. Create two profiles. Attach a real proxy to each, and verify both against the public fingerprint checker while checking the proxies through a separate reputation lookup. Open the same handful of sites in each and just use them normally for a few days, watching whether anything feels off. If automation is your goal, Wire up one small scripted task through the local interface. By the end of the week, you will know whether the tool fits your workflow and whether the fingerprint and proxy story hold together, which is exactly what the free plan is there to tell you. The price ladder, briefly. It is worth setting expectations on what happens after free, because that is where the real cost lives. AdsPower's paid plans are organized around how many profiles you need, so the more accounts you run, the higher the bracket you land in, and team seats and advanced features push it further. That is a normal model for this category, and not a mark against the tool, but it means your monthly cost is a direct function of your scale, and you should budget for it honestly rather than assume the free plan stretches forever. The sensible move is to prove the tool fits on the free plan first, then step up to exactly the bracket your account count demands, not a bigger one sold on features you will not use. So the honest summary: AdsPower's free plan is one of the more capable ones out there, strong on automation, generous enough to actually learn on, and a good fit for high-volume operators who want local control. It is not magic. The proxy work is still yours, and the affiliate hype around it should be ignored. The full written review, tested hands-on with the proxies attached, and no undetectable promises anywhere, is at antidetectbrowser.org. If this gave you a straighter picture than the affiliate crowd, subscribe, because next up I am walking through how to set proxies up inside an anti-detect browser the right way, so the network story actually matches the fingerprint. See you in the next one.